G'day guys, welcome back to some more quick maths. Today we're going to be talking about how to change the denominator of a fraction. And the reason that this is really important is because we can't add and subtract fractions without something having the same denominator. And we're just going to see that in an example really quickly, right? So let's say you eat half a pizza here, right? You eat 1 out of 2 slices of pizza, then you eat a half of someone else's, okay? But theirs, instead of being cut into 2, are cut into 4s. So this one's got 2 over 4. So if we just add these two denominators like we normally would and add the two numerators, which is kind of common sense, we would have the top two numbers, 1 plus 2 gives us 3, and the bottom two numbers, 2 plus 4 is 6. But 3 over 6 is the same as a half. And we ate half a pizza and then half another pizza. So that can't be right. So it only makes sense is that if the slices are exactly the same size. So in order to do that, we must make the denominators the same, or we must cut everything into the same size, okay? So really what we're trying to do is we're making two equivalent fractions at the same time, so they've got the same denominators. And we're going to look at how to do that pretty easily. So we've got an example here, okay? So we've got a half plus 2 over 5. So the first step we've got to do is we've got to multiply each fraction by the opposite denominator, okay? And while that sounds like quite a lot going on, it's not too bad. I like to put lines in just to make sure I multiply everything in the fraction by that number. So if I've got here, this whole fraction, this half, has to be multiplied by the bottom number here. So it's multiplied by 5, okay? I'm going to write it out again just to make sure I don't forget. So 1 over 2 times both things by 5 becomes 5 over 10. We've got to do both fractions though, because the other one has to be over 10 as well. So now I'm going to multiply this whole fraction by the denominator down here. So I'm going to multiply this by 2. So then I've got plus 2 times 2 is 4 and 5 times 2 is 10. Once those are the same down the bottom, all we have to do to finish this off, and that's step number 2, is add the numerators together just like you normally would, but keep the denominator the same. So that becomes 9 over 10. And that's your full marks right there, okay? Always check for simplification, but that's how we do it. So we're gonna have another example of this, right? 3 over 7 minus a quarter. It's the exact same steps. So the first one is we've got to multiply this whole thing by times 4, okay? I'm gonna write that out again. 3 times 4 is 12, and 7 times 4 is 28. You can just do that on your calculator if you need to. And then we've got, for this one, it has to be multiplied by 7, okay? So we keep the minus sign in there, and we minus 7 over 28. All we do from there is minus the numerators, exactly the same as we did in addition. 12 minus 7 is 5 over 28. Check for any simplification. In that one we don't have any, and we are done.